In this orthokeratology case, we have a patient who has a spherical refraction, but after treatment has got about a diopter with a rule cylinder. There is about a diopter on the cornea. Since it's spherical in the refraction, we can assume that there's a diopter against the rule on the lens, and so we are causing an additional diopter with the rule astigmatism on this cornea with the current lens. So most of the time when we're reducing the cylinder, we can adjust it by changing the sagittal depths of the lens and the horizontal versus the vertical meridians. We don't necessarily have to go to an oval or toric treatment zone. So in this case, I would split it and reduce sag in the horizontal meridian by 5 microns and increase it in the vertical by 10, so we get a net change of 15. So if we go to 50% mode, we're currently at 742. We're going to reduce this to 737. Because we're in freeform, we're going to have to do the same thing on the other side. So there's our difference of 5. And then the vertical, we're going to go in the opposite direction from 756 to 766. And the same thing inferior, 767 will be the target. And now we have our 15 microns of change. In these cases where there isn't a whole lot of corneal toricity, I do like to go into the overfraction box and turn on the prism. Doesn't add any power to the lens, just adds prism ballast down below. And then I leave a note for the lab to drill and dot right at the point of the prism, and that just helps me stay oriented in terms of how the lens is rotating on the eye, just in case it doesn't stabilize readily. Of course, how we see the lens when the patient is upright behind a slit lamp with eyes open is not necessarily how the lens sits at night when the eye is closed, but it does give me an idea of whether or not this lens has a tendency to rotate. And then sometimes I'll have the patient take a look in the mirror in the morning and tell me where they see the black dot on the lens. But in these low sill cases, I like to add the prism in. Usually it doesn't affect the fit too much, and it just gives me a little bit of extra data. Hopefully it becomes useful. So those are my thoughts on this case. Hopefully they're helpful, and best of luck with your patient.